Uh, in order to understand the solution which I propose, we have to leave what we know and believe as Westerners and try to understand the Middle East, which is different culture. The Middle East is roughly divided to two kinds of states. One kind is the failing states, and the other kind is the successful states. The failing states are Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Libya, Sudan, potentially Algeria as well. These are more or less the failing states. The successful states are Kuwait, Qatar, 7 Emirates united in the Federation of the United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Saudi Arabia. One would ask what makes the successful states successful and the failures failures. The immediate answer would be oil. And regard there is oil, so they are successful. But it is wrong. Iraq is an oil producing country, and it's a failing state. Same with Libya, which is a big oil production country, yet a failing state. On the contrary, Dubai is a very successful state, while it has no oil and no gas. Maybe 1 or 2% of the GDP of Dubai is connected to oil and gas. So, if oil was the reason, Iraq and Libya would be heaven on earth, while Dubai would be in hell on earth. But the situation is totally opposite. So what is the reason for the success of the Gulf states? The reason is sociology. The failing states, all of them, are conglomerates of clans, ethnic groups like Arabs, Kurds, Turkmens, Berbers in North Africa, religious groups, Muslims, Christians, Yazidis, Druze, Alawis, and many others, and sectarian groups, Sunnah, Shia, Salafis, Sufis, and all kinds of others. The state, the modern state, Iraq, Syria, and so forth, failed to galvanize the people to be one nation. They are all citizens, but not one nation. They don't get married with each other. They hate each other. They fight each other because of difference in clans, ethnic groups like Kurds and Arabs, and so forth. While the successful states are homogeneous. Kuwait belongs to one family, which is called Al-Sabah. Al is a clan. Al-Sabah is Kuwait. Qatar belongs to Al-Thani. Dubai belongs to Al-Maktoum. Abu Dhabi belongs to Al-Nahyan. And Saudi Arabia belongs to Al-Saud. Therefore, when you base a state on one consolidated group, traditional group, you get a successful state with oil or without oil. While if the sociology of the society of a state is a multiple groups which never lived in peace with each other, the state is failing after it was a dictatorship because it has to impose itself on all the groups. And this is actually the Arab world in a nutshell. What I advocate is a solution, the Emirate solution, the only paradigm which works in the Middle East, to establish an emirate in Jericho for the Arikat clan, which live only in Jericho, another clan and another state, another emirate in Ramallah for the Barghoutis, another one in the Arab part of Hebron for the clans of Hebron, the Jabris, Kawasme, Nachet, Tamimi, Abu Snena. They have a court which deals with all the problems if they have. Another emirate in Shechem, Nablus, another one for the 3 clans of Nablus, Masri, Tukan, and Shaka, another emirate in Tulkarem for the Karmis, another one in Kalkilia, another in Jeni. While Israel should forever annex the rural areas of Judea and Samaria, offer Israeli citizenship to the villagers, which is not a demographic problem. There are more or less 15% of the population, while Israel keeps like 85 or almost 90% of the land, including the Jordan Valley, which is vital for Israel. And this is the only solution which corresponds with sociology, will give the so-called Palestinians, will give them independence, or to most of them, will give them their own rule over their own cities by the clans, not PLO and not Hamas. Because PLO is a terror organization which sponsors terror, which operates a terror organization like Shuhada al-Aqsa. And the PA actually produces this map, which, and this is the Palestinian flag, which from the river to the sea. And they're just like Hamas. Hamas would slaughter us in the name of Islam, while the PLO will slaughter us in the name of nationalism. This is why no PLO and no Hamas, only the clans, which are there forever. They are there for who knows how many hundreds of years, and they are the only legitimate rule which we can rely on, because they are against the jihadists, because the jihadists are willing to shake the boat, while the families, the clans, want to keep everything stable, economy, good life, and let Israel live side by side with them. This is the only solution to emulate the Emirate paradigm. And by the way, this is why the Emirates have good peace with Israel, an all-out peace with Israel, because they don't need Israel as an enemy to galvanize them under an aegis of illegitimate ruler. No, they are legitimate states. Everyone is like a nation state of the clan. And this is why they don't look for enemies, and they have no problem with Israel. While Syria and all the others have war with Israel in order to frighten their own people, leave all the differences, and unite under the illegitimate aegis of Assad or Saddam Hussein or whoever was, in order to push out all the differences between the clans, between the ethnic groups, religious and sectarian groups. And this is actually the only solution which has prospects of success in the Middle East, because this is the only thing which corresponds with the culture of the Middle East, and not according to what all kinds of dreamers from the West who dreamt about democracy in the Middle East, which the Middle East actually rejects democracy, because democracy is women's rights, gays and lesbians' rights, freedom of religion, freedom from religion, things which are totally unacceptable in the Middle East. This is why only the paradigm which works in the Middle East, the Emirates solution, can be implemented and should be implemented if we want to reach any kind of peace between us and our neighbors. Until the war, I took the situation and I claimed that Gaza should be considered as a state under Hamas. Hamas should be really, not theoretically, really should be deterred, and let them live in this compound which they have in Gaza. Now, since Hamas is more than clear that nobody can live alongside with Hamas, Hamas should be totally destroyed, and we don't want the PA to be there, because the PA is a terrorist organization as well. So the clan system is the only thing. Assuming that the people of Gaza will return to the places which they were living until the war, they can establish 5 emirates. Why 5? Ever since the Egyptian rule in Gaza, before the 6-day war of 1967, Gaza is divided to 5 districts, administrative division. From the north to the south, Bet Lahiya, Beit Hanun is the first district in the north, near Ashkelon. Then another district is the city of Gaza. To the south is Dir el-Balach. To the south from it is Khan Yunis. And to the south, adjacent to the borders with Egypt, is Rafah. These are the 5 districts of Gaza Strip. This division was made according to the clans. They tried not to cut clans in the middle, the Egyptians already. Therefore, we can establish 5 emirates based in each and every one will be based on the local clans which live in this emirate. This is the same idea implemented on Gaza Strip as well. This is the ideal solution, and the solution which Israel should have tried to implement on the ground. Yet Hamas is totally against it, because Hamas know that the clan system is the only alternative. So when some families tried to distribute the humanitarian aid, they were targeted by Hamas, because the Hamas people know that this is the real alternative. So definitely we have to fight Hamas until they have no way how to influence the issues in Gaza, and then we have to delegate the rule of Gaza to the clans. If I may add,
Sure.
the British established Iraq in the 20s, as of the 20s of the last century, and in the 40s they understood that this was a mistake when they saw this failing state. So when they got out of the Gulf during the 60s into the 70s, they left clannish emirates behind them, because the British are learning from their mistakes. Unfortunately, those from behind the Atlantic, they don't learn from their mistakes, and you can see them making mistakes time after another. After they failed in Iraq, they failed in Afghanistan by the same mistake, thinking that if you bring money to people and you give them democracy, they will hug and kiss each other and forget all these clannish problems, which definitely are still alive and kicking in these countries, if not also alive and killing. And this is the mistake. Now we have to do the Emirate solution here in order to have some peace, which has all the prospects to be for very long time and stable.